pathetic, really. I know what the problem is you've got, they brought in these people that I think are union busters, and the last place they want to be is sitting down negotiating with the trade union. So what we've seen in that room is the future. They don't want to negotiate. They really believe, and Rico Becker said it to my face, that they make the decisions, and then basically we help them deploy their decisions. That's basically what they see our role as. So the talks have been horrendous. But to be fair, they weren't great last time. That process really just is meant to just like keep you talking. So if you want my view on the mediation process, which is due to, in the agreement it says it runs for 4 weeks. When you're talking about disagreements of this scale, and last time, 2017, you couldn't possibly deal with all those issues in 4 weeks. You couldn't possibly. What it did last time, this is only our second go at it, what it did really was teed us up for the talks. And it got people into a position where they were going to have reasonable negotiations. So in this one, we don't spend much time in the room with them, thank God, really, in a way, but we haven't. The mediator sort of goes between rooms. But what the issue has been, the company have wanted to split all the issues up. So they've tried to say that it's us that have put the point of principle disagreement, which we're entitled to do in the national agreement. We've done it on the basis of them not honouring the 2018 agreement and all its component parts. But what they're trying to do, and have constantly tried to do, is split the issues off and say, well, the short working week should be a separate mediation, or productivity should be a separate mediation. And basically their tactic is to try and just constantly keep us in mediation so we can't take industrial action. I think that's really been the essence of what they're trying to do. And I think they've come into them talks trying to get themselves into a position that they get past Christmas, if I'm honest with you, which probably is no surprise to most people. So they've not been great, but during the talks we have tried twice now and formally to push them into formal negotiations, saying to them, listen, you might be new to this game, but the only way this gets resolved is with a negotiated settlement with this union. You ain't going to just steamroll us, you're going to have to sit down and negotiate with us and get a deal. And we've been trying to keep pulling them onto that, and at different times some of them have, but others that are in there and ain't been of the same view. Last time we had Moya Green and all the top team, the HR director, the finance director, everyone came into those talks. It hasn't this time, as I said the other day, I think it's been their Carling Cup site they put out for these talks. Which is another reason why you need the real decision makers in the room. And even if it had been for a couple of those meetings, he should have been in the room, shouldn't he? He's driving this. He cannot stay anonymous as the CEO of the Great British Postal Service. He can't. And at some point he won't. Because the position we're in with our vote, listen, opinion formers, I said about being in Westminster, that minister said to me straight away, what's going on? Is it the new CEO? So these people are aware, they know, there'll be different pressures building. So the talks haven't been fantastic. Well, we know the answer for us is we defend our agreement, but we also get some firm commitments. They've got to back off. This stuff they've said on the new pipeline is just him creating a parcel company and only using 300 of our delivery officers. What that suggests to me is they want to set a parcel company, because he knows parcels, on top of this great public service, and then the rest of it is on the vine. So all the investment he's talking about will only go into that, not everything else around it. So for those of you, and I know some of you are, and I don't say this for a fact because I've done the culture tours, for those of you that are working at you're going to carry on working, it's going to get worse. So the environment out there, when they're talking about productivity and efficiency of our workers, but they're not even creating the environment, have they? Since we've been privatised, the previous administration had a policy of shareholder increase year on year dividend. You can now see, when I come out and I see in workplaces, you can see where that increased dividend has come from. There's been no investment in our sites or our operation out in the field, which is why now some of the places are appalling. What he wants to do there with that parcel company, we're aware of that. A couple of years down the line, that'll end up with mail centre closures, it'll end up with delivery office closures, merging of delivery offices, especially if they bolt onto that, reducing the USO. And the fact they can't bring themselves to say defending the 6-day USO, which is in our agreements, the fact they can't bring themselves to say that, to talk about contemporary USO, means that they are already, I believe, pretty confident of reducing the USO. And everyone talks about the protections of Europe. People have different views on that. I certainly am. But what the European Union are doing now Gazette looking at having talks to reduce it from 5 to 3. They had a 5-day USA as a minimum for postal organisations. Another example of Europe sucking up a big business, in my opinion, but there you go. So let's, that's another thing we've got to try and anticipate to protect ourselves. Again, last week we said let's go into formal negotiations now. They've wasted more time. They said no. Well, they said they would, but only if we would guarantee we wouldn't do anything before Christmas. So, we'd like to catch ourselves, but take away any strength we've got in this position, the position we're in at the moment. So, at the moment, what it says in the agreement, you have a week now to reflect on the mediator's reports, and then you have 2 weeks where you can get in a room and try and resolve it or move it forward. And then after that, you're out of the process. That's our view on it. We put out a poster to try and explain it to everybody. And then, of course, once we give notice for industrial action, there's a further 2 weeks. We have to give 2 weeks notice. So there's a few weeks of serious negotiation, if they wanted to have it, that they could have with us. But they're the timescales, and I think it's important everyone knows, because I've got to be honest with you, of course people are going to have to make allowances and make adjustments. Well, you've got 5 or 6 weeks here to get yourself sorted out in anticipation. That's what I'd say to members as well. There's all sorts of things, go and talk to your mortgage provider or whatever. Go and just say, talk it through what might happen, how you might deal with it, do a bit of docket, do whatever, get a load of food in the cupboard. But, we've got a chance, you've got a chance to get organised around that. But that's how it works at the moment. Of course, the unknown at the moment is whether they'll come in with some sort of legal challenge, is the unknown quantity, and what that would be. If I could say to everyone, I might as well, in anticipation of that question, what we've done with that, and the reason your ballot paper looked the way it did this time, which is quite exceptional to have it listed out, the 21 things, is because we took the advice of our legal people, and also John Hendy, who is a QC, Queen's Counsel, and is absolutely renowned for representing trade unions and working people. So John's been on board with us, and our mediation pack, our ballot paper, we've done everything possible to mitigate ourselves from a legal claim that we know of, and John knows of. And the way things have been written and shaped the way they are is for that purpose, to try and make it as strong as possible. I think they're starting to doubt, because they're certainly out there trying to tell our guy how to behave when we're on strike and look at agencies and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we want an agreement. We're not doing this to have a strike, and we never have done. But I'm just being straight with you. The quality of the people across the table, the people who have been talking to us, the prospect of us making progress in a few weeks, at the moment seems very, very difficult. But you never know. They might really, off the back of that yes vote, off the back of a mediator report, they might start to bend the knee a little bit. But they're going to have to bend it quite a lot to satisfy us and get us back on track with our agreement and the further protections we'd want out of these negotiations. I mean, in terms of support, you already know that Corbyn and the Labour Party have already come out very supportive. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Obviously Dave will be taking that side of it forward. My focus has been on the industrial side and making sure we get this massive yes vote 24/7 as it happens. I think when people come in to support you, and I've always said this even when I was a local rep and going into a local dispute, you got to prove that you're up for serious yourselves first, in the first instance. Then people start to get behind you and follow you. And it's why the media don't get excited really until they see the ballot result. Up until then, the media's been pretty, well, we'll wait and see what the ballot result is, and wait and see. So if we have to take strike action, I think that will gain its own momentum. The first protocol for me is get people in the right place for this dispute and to fully understand the issues. We could well do, or I could well do another Facebook Live Q&A for people. I don't think anyone can complain we haven't, our comms on all of this and everything else. We've tried to leave no stone unturned whatsoever. So, that's where we are with that. All your things are right, and they will be thought about. I'm absolutely sure about that, and I think the executive and other people will be putting those things forward as well. We'll have to deal with it. I'd say this to you as well. Anyone who's worried about taking strike action, I think we could be taking action in effect, for want of a better word, every single day of the week in every single workplace in this country. by, without our cooperation or, any sense of goodwill that our members show, well, they shouldn't be showing at the moment, in my opinion. They shouldn't be doing it. We shouldn't be making life easy for them. We should, if there is cases of genuine cases of bullying, I've said it before, we can react to it. We've got an agreement. There is a flashpoint procedure. So if sadly, there was a walkout somewhere because people got down, then as long as we're disciplined and as long as we can control the situation and we get people back to work in line with our agreements, I don't see this as us only being in a war the days we're actually on strike. I think we're in a war every day. Why would you go over and above or do more for someone who's trying to do this for you? So, we've said before about people working their time and people doing it, whatever. There's loads of things people can do in the workplace. As for the action we have to take, I'll tell you now, I know there'll be some people who say, can we just go 24-hour? Or there'll be people who say, everyone's got a view about rolling strike and all that and everything else. The decision is made by the executive. I serve at the pleasure of the postal executive. Officers don't get a vote. That's not to put pressure back on the postal executive. It's to say whatever I say to you on that, I could be proven wrong. But I won't shy away from saying it to you because I believe it. I think it should be one out, all out, is my view. And I'll tell you now, we've got to hit them heavy, in my opinion, because we've only got 6 months and then we have to reballot, is the law of this land. So you've got 6 months to make your point here. If these people don't start bending the knee and they're still coming at us as aggressively and arrogantly as they are now, then I'll tell you now, we've got to reciprocate that with the action that we take, and it's got to be serious industrial action. So if anyone wants my opinion, I won't shirk that question. For all of you who are concerned, I make no apology, but I tell you now, it's got to be more significant than 24 hours in my opinion. Worried Scott filming it that this had collapsed this stage. It's a little bit bouncy, I've got to tell you. So I don't going too mad or dancing or anything like that. Especially that big question I just had there. The answer to that one is yes, by the way.
There was also a question from Winningham about the TUC and Unite.
You're going to have some editing to do this, Scott, that's for sure.